And now, introducing tonight's starting lineup for the Lethbridge Polytechnic Kodiaks. Starting with number 9, Benjamin Dick. Number 17, Tristan Iwanchuk. Number 6, Cameron Marshall. Number 16, Carl Petker. Number 1, Benjamin St. Pierre. Number 8, Shane Wall. And playing libero, number 4, Alex Dirksen. And number 5, Malcolm Fisher. The head coach for the Kodiaks is Greg Gibbous. And now introducing tonight's starting lineup for the NAIT Ooks. Starting with number 1, Mason Gorski. Number 2, Ben Kieser. Number 6, Julian Phillips. Number 7, Josh Watson. Number 12, Finn Howard. Number 17, Dalen Anderson. And playing libero, number 15, Dakota Dunfield. The head coach for the Ooks is Phil Dixon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in viewers from all around. You're joining us here live for quarterfinal 4 of day 1 of the ACAC 2025-2026 Men's Provincial Volleyball Tournament here, hosted by Red Deer Polytechnic. Canada Game Center here, as we have, in my opinion, the match of the event here, the South 3 facing the North 2, South 3 Lethbridge College Kodiaks, sorry, Lethbridge Polytechnic Kodiaks, taking on the NAIT Ooks out of Edmonton there. Both very similar regular season records. NAIT with 14-5, Lethbridge with 13-6. NAIT is ranked number 9th in the country with 14, or Lethbridge ranked number 14th. Both teams are sprinkled with all conference players on each side, so this should be our most exciting match of the day, and the winner will go on to play the host Red Deer Polytechnic Kings at what I'm thinking is 6 p.m. tomorrow to face the winner of GP Wolves and Keanu Huskies on the other side of the semi here. So number 9 for the Kodiaks here, Benjamin Dick, getting ready to serve us into the game. Benjamin Dick, third year from Coaldale, first spin serve of the quarterfinal 4. Good pass from the Ooks. Gorski getting his middle. That's Finn Howard's activated off a beautiful pass from Dakota Dunfield. And as I read through the roster, Gorski 5th year, Kieser 5th year, Julian Phillips 5th year, Watson 4th year, Finn Howard 3rd year, Dunfield 5th year, and Anderson 5th year. So this roster is built for one thing, and that is to win a provincial and a national tournament, as NAIT is the host team to take on the CCAA tournament. So they get an automatic berth. So even though I'm sure they'd love to be representing their province at the number 1 seed, you can tell that, or you can understand that they'll play a little bit lighter, obviously having that automatic host here. So out of system play, this is Julian Phillips on the right side, tight ball, and it's going to be either Carl Petker or Shea Wall on the net in that attempt. 2-0, Ooks go up early. Number 12, Finn Howard, 3rd year from Christchurch, New Zealand. So welcome in if you're viewing from New Zealand there. Nice pass from the Kodiaks to St. Pierre in the back row. That's number 9, Benjamin Dick, to get it done. A nice pass set kill from the combination of libero Malcolm Fisher, St. Pierre, and then Benjamin Dick to close it out.
Number 16, Carl Petker.
Petker, 3rd year from Coaldale. Middle for this Lethbridge lineup. shallow float serve, good pass from the Nate Ooks, and then it's Josh Watson out of the back row, picked up well by Dick. This is number 8 out of the left side with the continuation, but gets blocked at Shea Wall. I believe that was Phillips combining. Yeah, you're gonna see a nice inside set from Julian Phillips to identify that set was inside, so his outside block set should be pushed inside a little bit more, and that just put him right in a good position to shut down Wall on the other side. Phillips with a spin serve, just missing wide. Number 6, Cameron Marshall, doing a good job getting out of the way so that one doesn't hit him on the way out. Marshall, third year from Adelaide, Australia. So welcome in if you're watching from down under. Gorski, nice set to number 17. That's Dylan Anderson who gets touched up. St. Pierre to Wall again, out of system play. Good touch up from the Nate Oops to continue the rally, and it's Gorski over on 2 to get his first offensive kill of the match. Gorski just so good at shielding that set up until the last point, just so good at keeping both hands high until the last second and just pushing that one over ever so lightly into the wide open pot of the Kodiaks. Off pass from Wall, he's going to get it back from Phillips there. Or sorry, that was Fisher with the libero set. Good to touch by Anderson. It's Watson with the out of balance swing going backwards. North Player of the Year for a reason. Josh Watson just does such a good job, even though he's jumping backwards and off the net, still keeping some pace on the ball and staying aggressive because he identifies that that block isn't there. Anderson serving at Wall, off pass. Fisher wants to take it, but St. Pierre was right there, and that's going to force a 3-contact violation from the Kodiaks. And head coach Greg Gibos has seen enough early in this first set. Nate Ooks are surging here, up by 4, 6-2. Not much that the Ooks are doing, just putting pressure in with their with each one of their sequences, and the Lethbridge Kodiaks just do not have an answer here early. We'll be back, Kodiaks and Ooks, after this separate timeout break.
The 2026 ACAC Men's Volleyball Championships are brought to you by Elite Promotional Marketing, presenting sponsor of the championships. If you can dream it, we can brand it. The Holiday Inn Hotels and Resorts Red Deer. Stay smart, rest, and recharge. Big 105, home of the Big Breakfast Show with Jamie and B. 1067 Rewind Radio. Wake up to the morning rewind with Matt and Ted. RD News Now, Red Deer's credible information leader and most trusted digital news source in Central Alberta. Visit rdnewsnow.com.
Six-2 out of the timeout break. Number 17, Dalen Anderson, the 5th year from Edmonton, putting the serve in play. St. Pierre to his middle. This is Iwanschuk, who's touched up by the Ooks. Watson going through the block and just finding room through the front row press of Tristan Iwanschuk and Ben St. Pierre. Watson doing so good, just pushing that ball into the low part. Vulnerable piece of the 4 sets of hands that were showing there. And Anderson continues to serve. Ooks rolling here, up 7-2 early. Off pass from Wall, straight up to number 6 there. That was Marshall out of the right side. Tight ball for Watson to take a play. Gets blocked by St. Pierre. St. Pierre, the 5th year from Red Deer, so hometown boy doing a good job pressing that outside hand and not getting beat by Watson on that one.
Now serving, number 8.
To keep this a 4-point game here. 3 serving 7. Shea Wall, the 4th year from Swift Current, to serve. Just over the net, Watson is able to handle that one. Gorski goes backwards to Phillips and makes no mistake. What a set from Mason Gorski to keep Phillips activated out of the back row. Gorski pushed way forward, but just at the last second, flicking that one backwards. And Phillips doing a good job identifying that Gorski's pushed over, so he brings his approach inside as well. Kieser, 5th year from Sturgeon County, putting the pressure on the Kodiaks with that serve. Phillips dug it, but his teammates have to chase it down. It's going to be a free ball over for the Kodiaks to run their offense. Fisher to St. Pierre. Outside, this is Benjamin Dick getting the tool off of Gorski. A beautiful conversion for the Kodiaks to bring them back within 4. St. Pierre running a nice offense, getting that pace and speed outside to just make the middle's job on the other side of the net. That's Finn Howard, just that much more difficult to close and seal out that outside block. Iwanchuk, first year from Lethbridge, serving in play, but Watson just high flying and finding a way through the block of St. Pierre. You got to understand that that's probably part of Gorski's setting strategy, is just to expose that matchup that St. Pierre's on the other side of the net. St. Pierre, not the tallest guy, but jumps very well, but still just a bit of a blocking exposure on the other side of the net, if you will. Gorski spin serving that one long. Kodiak stay within 4, 5 serving 9, and St. Pierre gets his first chance at a serve of the game here. St. Pierre and Malcolm Fisher, the only two fifth years on this Lethbridge roster. Nice pickup by Fisher to keep it alive. Free ball over, short ball by Howard. Gorski backwards to Watson, and just misses that one wide, Josh Watson. But like I was saying, Fisher and St. Pierre, yeah, you're gonna see here, just sorry in this replay, Watson had all the court to swing at, but just maybe tried to avoid the block a little bit too much there. But yeah, Fisher and St. Pierre, the only two fifth years, and there's about 8 to 10 fifth years on this NAIT roster. Gorski to Howard. They make no mistake there. A nice little middle setter connection, that 30. Oh man, and number 16, Carl Petker was right there, just couldn't find the right hand adjustment to shut down Howard on the other side. Ooks stay up by 4, 10-6. North Player of the Year, Josh Watson, trying to spin serve down the line. Rushed himself a little bit, put that one into the net. Kodiak's chased by 3 here. They're trying to find a way to steal on their serve. Gorski runs a beautiful offense on the other side. Off pass, Phillips straight up out of the right side, and Lethbridge gets a touch on it, but where the ball hit them, it just landed straight up on Petke and Wall there. And that's the worst feeling, is when you touch the ball and you have no idea and the ball is just right on top of your head. But yeah, Ooks, I believe Ooks won Nationals a year ago, if not 2 years ago, but that's when they had Shane McIntyre. But Gorski, Howard, Watson, I'm pretty sure Anderson, I know Kieser was in this lineup too, but yeah, this lineup has already won a national championship, minus their superstar Shane McIntyre there. But yeah, much of this lineup is competitive and our champions. Carl Petker, third year from Coaldale, float serve in play. Anderson tight ball to Gorski, but gets it backwards to Phillips, and he finds room through the block on the right side and just outside the reach of St. Pierre to continue the rally. But Gorski just loves to go against the grain, especially when he's so far forward. Like, so if he's kind of setting near the power position, he likes to go backwards, just set against the grain, but you got to be careful there. Kieser almost landed on his face. Phillips, spin serve deep, and that was called out right away.
Serving for the Kodiaks, number 6, Cameron Marshall.
Cameron Marshall, the Adelaide Australian, float serve just deep. Ooks will take it, missed serves exchanged.
Now serving number 17, Dalen Anderson.
Anderson to serve, 13-9. Ooks are up over Kodiaks here. St. Pierre's in the front row, so he can be offensive if he wants. Goes out to Wall for the pass and swing, but it's Gorski with the defensive stop here. What a press and penetration from the setter, Mason Gorski, on the one-on-one block to shut down Shea Wall. Gorski getting up there and getting a nice press. Watch this, one-on-one block, identifying, getting a good view on his hitter, and that outside hand just closes on the ball. Wall passed off the net, so he's going to get it back again. But as I say that, it's Marshall with the tight free ball. Pushes it deep. It probably was out, but Anderson took it. But a great chaos play from the NAIT Ooks. That's Gorski and Kieser combining for a kill. Nice transition play. Kieser just tipping that one very shallow. Not much more that the Kodiaks can do to pick it up. And Ooks are starting to pull away here, 15-9. Down the line, Shea Wall to St. Pierre, pass and swing high off the hands. And Shea Wall with a nice pass and swing out of the left side to keep this game within 5.
Serving now, number 8, Shea Wall.
Shea Wall, the 4th here from Swift Current. No service errors on the night. Puts that one in play. Nice pass from number 15, Dakota Dunfield, and it's Kieser again in the middle. Iwanchuk just cannot seem to solve the puzzle that is Ben Kieser on the other side of the net. Just a whippy arm swing and a fast approach. Kieser just super athletic, standing at 6'5", but still touches in those high 30s, it feels like. So when he has a good approach and the pass is good, it's going to be very hard to stop him. Kieser, the 4th year from Sturgeon County. Float serve, hard and in play. Nice pass from Wall to control that. Benjamin Dick. Anderson, nice dig on the back line. It's Watson high off the hands and just pokes that one high off the hands of Iwanchuk and St. Pierre, which is pretty much untrackable. Just such a nice swing, identifying that there's too strong, not hitting too much, but just hitting a nice piece of the hand high, just outside of the reach of Shea Wall to track down that second contact. 17-10, the NAIT Ooks are just rolling in this first set of our last quarterfinal of day 1 here. Float serve and play, tight ball. St. Pierre makes a play, but Iwanchuk was not ready to swing on it. Free ball for the Nukes. And there's the set that the St. Pierre was looking for. You can see him kind of patting the back of Iwanchuk. He's just like, dude, I had you there. You got to be ready for an offensive option. And then it's just kind of St. Pierre being a 5th year, Iwanchuk being a 1st year. But then you saw Howard and Gorski on the other side of the net execute that perfectly. So 18-10, NAIT Ooks not doing too much. Phillips with 5 kills, Watson with 4, Kieser with 3, and Howard with 1. But up 18-10, controlling this first set over the Lethbridge Polytechnic Kodiaks. Dick and Wall with 2 and 1 kill. That's it. So not much going on the offensive side for the Kodiaks. They're going to have to find a way to turn it around. We'll be back in about 30 seconds after this.
The 2026 ACAC Men's Volleyball Championships are brought to you by Red Deer Polytechnic Alumni Association, Red Deer Bottling, North Star Sports, and Central Alberta Co-op.
Ooks over Kodiaks after the timeout break here. Kodiaks have called both timeouts here, so they're going to have to let it ride for the rest of this set. Kieser with a beautiful serve out of the timeout. St. Pierre, oh my goodness, you got to be careful. Ooh, he almost jumped right into that barrier separating the fans in the court there. That was a little scary. But you can see St. Pierre just laying out his life here in his hometown to get it going. Number 7, David Kindley into the game, the 3rd year from Lethbridge to take out St. Pierre.
David Kindley.
I think head coach Greg Debos is just worried that St. Pierre might have hit his shin or something on that outside bar, but yeah, it's definitely not St. Pierre's fault, but maybe that's the change of scenery that the Lethbridge Kodiaks need to start to surge some momentum here. And it is a great start from Tristan Iwanchuk out of the middle. Kindley doing a great job with that first pass, getting his middles activated.
Dario Gentile.
Gentile coming in for the Kodiaks. Number 10, 3rd-year libero from Lethbridge as well. Just a massive roster for this Kodiak team. Watson passed off the net. Gorski to Howard. Free ball over. Out of system play. It's Dunfield. High ball to Watson. Over the block, but a nice pickup by Wall here. It's going to be Benjamin Dick with a chance to convert, and he does. Beautiful play from the Kodiaks to keep the Ooks at bay. You'll see here Watson does a good job getting outside and swinging high. Oh my gosh, he swung almost over that triple block. Marshall outside to Dick, finding room, just swinging high and through that block and find success. Watson tight pass to Gorski, one-handed set outside, and it's Kindley with a one-on-one block on the North Player of the Year. And Kindley, yeah, like even though this isn't St. Pierre's fault, that the position they're in this position, Kindley gives them a bit of a height advantage on the block that is Watson here. So definitely something to consider for the Kodiaks, especially when St. Pierre's in the front row. Gorski offensive again, his second kill of the evening on a nice front row flush. Gorski is so good at being just smart when he's at the net in those situations. He almost just always seems to know what play to make with the situation that's presenting itself. 2013 red zone for the Ooks. Gorski to serve. Over bump. Howard wants to take a turn on it, and Kindley slows it down. Front row block from the setter. Nice play. Another touch. Kindley has to put it over, but it's not. It's Petker. Oh, and inside Benjamin Dick wanted that highlight play, but just ran out of court in the attempt there. Nice pickup from the Kodiaks. Petker doing a good job keeping his hitter on, but Benjamin Dick just hit that one wide. 21-13. Ooks are rolling over the Kodiaks. Winner of this game goes on to play Red Deer tomorrow at the 8 p.m. semifinal. The loser will go on to play Augustana. And yeah, Gorski, that was wild. That one was about as in as I could ever see it, but the Lions person must have got spooked and called it out. So I have no idea why that was called out, but Gorski, you can see the surprise on Gorski's face. He felt good about that one, and that was definitely in. So let's see if the ball never lies here. Kindley with the float serve, and that one pegs the line. Oh, man, back-to-back missed calls. I think that one landed on the line as well. You can see Gorski's laughing at his coaching staff because he's just like, oh, shoot, that one was kind of in as well, eh? So back-to-back missed serves, which are very close. Ooks up 22-14. Josh Watson, North Player of the Year. As I say that, he's getting ready to serve, but kind of hits that ball and doesn't get the top spin you're looking for. And a couple of missed serves from Josh Watson, but he's been getting it done on the offensive side with 4 kills already on the match. Marshall exchanging the favor. Sorry, no, that was Benjamin Dick, the third-year Coaldailer, putting that one into the net to exchange missed serves, and we inch our way to the end of this first set. 23-15, Ooks are up. Finn Howard, the 6'7" New Zealander to serve. Just gets it over the net. Fisher with a nice handle. Kindley backwards to Marshall, and he finds success down the line out of the right side. Marshall doing a good job kind of keeping his approach on that outside line so he can still turn down the line no matter where that ball is. Just a nice thumb down finish from the right side, Australian. We're going to see a couple of subs come in. Iwanchuk comes back into the front row, and then number 2, Brady Ewert, the first year from Saskatoon, as a serving sub to hopefully kind of claw away at this hole and create some momentum for the Kodiaks for the longevity of this game. Good start, off pass. Good pickup from the Kodiaks on that out-of-system play from the Ooks. And wow, Phillips and Kieser just combining for a massive stuff block on Benjamin Dick on the Shea Wall on the outside. Watch how quick this ball just goes down. Not much more you can do if you're Shea Wall there.
Number 6, Julian Phillips.
Set 1 point for the Ooks. Looking to go up 1-0 in this best of 5 in our quarterfinal 4 over the South 3 Lethbridge Kodiaks here. And Phillips with the spin to win to close it out. Beautiful service ace. Not doing too much, but just putting it into a nice open piece of court here. 25-16. Ooks, the North 2
and the Ooks take the first set
division seed, takes the first set 25-16 over the South 3 Lethbridge Kodiaks. But don't go away here. Kodiaks are starting to settle in. This game is far from over. We'll be back after this.
The 2026 ACAC Men's Volleyball Championships are brought to you by KNKT Belts, the perfect fit, every time. Papa John's Pizza, better ingredients, better pizza. the Student Association, and Lacombe Sobeys. The 2026 ACAC Men's Volleyball Championships are brought to you by the Government of Alberta, Konica Minolta, Sport Check, Veriburn Medical Supply, and Volleyball Alberta.
Start off the second set, serving for the Oaks, number 7, Josh Watson.
All right, welcome back here. Serve has started us off. Ooks keeping the ball up off that hit from Marshall. Phillips with just the roll shot. St. Pierre with a nice dig. Fisher outside to Benjamin Dick, and he finds room in the NAIT Ooks armor there. Didn't think that was the shot to score on this NAIT Ooks defense.
Number 9, Benjamin Dick.
Just outside the reach of Dakota Dunfield to keep the rally alive for his teammates. But Benjamin Dick returns the favor with another missed serve on the Kodiak side. It's been a little bit of the tail of the tape there. NAIT Ooks just controlling their first contacts better than the Kodiaks and just putting pressure on their serve, making life and offensive runs for the Kodiaks and St. Pierre just that much more difficult. Shea Wall, tough pass to St. Pierre, and that was Petker dug up by Gorski in a beautiful continuation from the Ooks to keep it alive. Gorski, or sorry, that was St. Pierre again to Petker, but can't find the defense to get through, but it's Anderson who puts it off the antenna, and Kodiaks will come away with it. You'll see right here, Anderson just trying to go down the line a little bit too fine and just ticks that outside antenna, and that's a violation. Point to the other team every time. Carl Petker, third year from Coaldale. Him and Benjamin Dick must have played together up. Watson, Gorski, Kieser. And wow, Kieser is extremely athletic. Just watch how high he jumps and hangs for this one. Gorski doing a good job getting up, but even that seems like it's almost a little too low for Kieser there. Just watch how he hits that ball. It's kind of close to his ear a little bit. And yeah, you just need to get that ball a little bit higher to allow that full arm swing, but Kieser will make it work. Good pass from the Kodiaks, pass and swing for Dick. Phillips with a nice pancake. Anderson off the pass from Dunfield. Can't convert. Kodiaks go up 3-2.
Serving for the Kodiaks, number 6, Cameron Marshall.
Marshall with the float serve just off the top of the net. Watson doing a good job keeping it alive, but it's Phillips who blows that one out the back, and another unforced error from the Kodiaks. From the Ooks show the Kodiaks a 2-point lead here early in the second set. This serve from Marshall. Nate Ooks will take it. Chasing down by 1, 3 serving 4. Both St. Pierre and Gorski are in the front row, but you know that Ooks are serving Shea Wall. The entire lineup's pretty much standing in front of them. It's working out. St. Pierre passes swing to Shea Wall through the block, but Dunfield with a perfect dig. Gorski high ball to Watson. Roll shot, good recycle. You could tell that's what he was trying to do. Gets another chance. Tight ball. Has to poke it again, gets another 3 contacts, and Gorski over on 2. What a pickup by number 5, Fisher. Phillips, nice hand dig. Off the net, that's gonna be the Nate Ooks point. Shea Wall was all over the net on that attempt here. You're gonna get a good look at it. Our GoPro's placed perfectly. Shea Wall just on the finish. Just presses his 2 hands on the top of the net, and Ooks will take it as they tie this game up early at 4. But yeah, I'm not sure if you can see the blocking front row of the Ooks, but they are all standing in the way of Shea Wall. So not hiding who they're serving to. Marshall gets a continuation, another chance for the Kodiaks. Roll shot, Julian Phillips, perfect dig on the line. Watson takes a hard angle, trying to get a set of hands. He was firmly believing that he got the tool there on the way out, but yes, the Kodiaks missed it. See exactly where the Kodiaks are serving here as well. They're trying to go at these seams of Watson and Dunfield. Anderson pass off the net. Gorski high ball to, it was supposed to go to Watson, but it was pretty much a free ball for the Kodiaks, and they convert. Benjamin Dick goes off the chest of Dakota Dunfield and sprays that one out of bounds on the Kodiak side. So another nice conversion from the Kodiaks to stay up by 2 here. 6 serving 4, Shea Wall to serve. Wall the fourth here from Swift Current. Spin serve and play. Dakota Dunfield, nice pass to Gorski, who activates Kieser. And even though Gorski's at the attack line, him and Kieser just have such a strong connection to just know where each other is and where the other one wants the set. And that's the high ball that we're talking about for Kieser. Look at that full swing, that full reach allows him to jump and use his entire vertical to his advantage. And Gorski, yeah, he's North Setter Division of the Year for a reason. Fortunately, Kieser missing that serve. Keeping this at a 2-point spread in favor of the Kodiaks. Seven serving 5, Tristan Iwanschuk. Float serve deep, and that one's out in a hurry. Six serving 7. I'm not going to say it. Gorski, spin serve, Dick, tight pass for St. Pierre and tries to be offensive, but Finn Howard identified it right away and just threw the ball right back on St. Pierre's side. So much needed steal to tie this game up at 7 apiece as Ooks were trying to kind of figure out that 2-point swing that they were holding themselves in. Gorski with a nice serve to create that. Malcolm Fisher, nice pass to St. Pierre, backwards to Marshall, but it's a little low. Oh, and he gets called for a 2-hit contact. That doesn't happen too often. So just a bit of spin coming off of the ball from St. Pierre, and Gets called for the 2-hit violation. Tough rotation for the Kodiaks to be hemmed in. Petker and Dick are the only front row options. But that's definitely the favor they need from Gorski to miss his serve and get them out of that rotation, get St. Pierre into the back row to get Marshall into the front row and have 3 hitters for Kodiaks in the front. Watson, Phillips, and Howard on the other side. Gorski lights this rotation, but doesn't have to do much. St. Pierre is kind of showing some holes in his game here early, but he's always one of my favorite players to watch. I remember his first year from Lethbridge, coming out of Red Deer, even as he played in high school and whatnot. He's a solid player and doesn't have many inconsistent games. A nice location from St. Pierre right there to get it outside to Marshall. You saw this from Gorski as St. Pierre's running forward. He likes to go against the grain and kind of set away from the flow a little bit. So a nice set from St. Pierre to correct himself off that double hit and miss serve violation there to keep this game tied up at 9. But the Kodiaks are going to need their setter, St. Pierre, to start carrying the team on the offense here. Anderson, that ball's a little bit too tight, and just his forward momentum just takes him right into the net there. Violation for the Ooks. Gives the point to the Kodiaks, 10 serving 9. So we just go back and forth here in this second set. NAIT Ooks winning set 1, 25-16, if you're just joining us. Good pass from Anderson. Gorski backwards to Phillips. Phillips goes bounce down on a nice in-system play out of the right side. Julian Phillips with his 6th kill of the match. It's a highlight play here. Just a nice whippy arm. Get some bounce on it. And that's some momentum and some energy that the Ooks need to try to break this 10-10 mold over the South 3 Lethbridge Polytechnic Kodiaks here. Float serve, Malcolm Fisher, nice pass to St. Pierre, right side Marshall, cross court through the seam of Kieser and Anderson. And Marshall answering the bell with his 2nd kill of the match. Not a ton of offense from the Kodiaks as Ben Dick has 6 kills, Marshall has 2, and then Wall and Iwanschuk only have 1. Anderson with a nice high swing to get the tool, but Kieser with 6 kills, Phillips with 6 kills, Watson with 5, Gorski 2, Howard with 2, Anderson with 2 now. So yeah, we've got an even offensive spread for the NAIT Ooks. Definitely on the behalf of how it's ran from Gorski there. But Kodiaks haven't had too many chances to get those kills opportunities in the first set, just with the pressure that the Kodiaks were bringing on their first serve contact. But Marshall stringing together a couple of consecutive kills to keep the Kodiaks up by 1, 12 serving 11. Float serve from Marshall. Anderson tight pass to Gorski, but he can be offensive. Presses the ball back on the Kodiak side. Dick out of the pipe. Gets dug up by Malcolm Fisher, and then it's Shea Wall who closes out the rally to give the Kodiaks a 2-point lead. Shea Wall doing a good job getting off the net. St. Pierre putting him in a good spot to have all his angles and just challenges the Gorski block down the line. Shea Wall now with 2 kills on the match as well. Miss serve from Marshall. Ooks will take it, just chasing down by 1 now. Anderson, the 5th year from Edmonton, looking to tie this game up. Float serve in play, down the line at Wall, pulling St. Pierre off the net, right side to Marshall off the net as well, so just has to put a roll shot in play. Another roll shot, St. Pierre running his offense. It's Dick out of the back row and just pops it off the head of Julian Phillips. Headhunting on the way out, Benjamin Dick just coming out of a cannon here. Ben St. Pierre doing a good job of just identifying that it's either him or Marshall or his only viable sets as he's getting pushed backwards. So Kodiak's doing a nice job recovering from that first set defeat 25-16 to have a way better showing here. Oh man, not out by much here, and you could tell Watson might have thought that one was in just with his facial expression, but A miss serve from Shea Wall brings the Ooks back within 113, serving 14 as we inch our way to the midway point of this second set. Best of 5, final quarterfinal of day 1 here of the ACAC Provincial Tournament. Kieser getting it done from the service line. A very firm and just active float serve. When I say active, it just has so much movement off his hands. It's pretty much just shaking as it's coming to Shea Wall. Kieser can go on a run here if he wants to, and that is not the rhythm that the Lethbridge Kodiaks want. Oh, Shea Wall, that's a difficult ball to pass. Marshall out of the back row gets blocked, and it's the New Zealand duo of Watson and Howard combining for a nice close. You knew it was going to go out to Marshall. Watson getting that outside hand just pressed and turned in, doing a nice job shutting down the right side. Cameron Marshall, the Lethbridge Polytechnic Kodiaks, the Australian on the other side of the net. Kieser just ripping floaters right now. St. Pierre inside, and it's Gorski who gets a chance at the block party for the NAIT Ooks. Kodiaks were up 14-12 at one point. Now NAIT Ooks have just strung together points, find themselves up by 2, 16 serving 14. All on the hand of Ben Kieser here, who is just destroying float serves. I would not want to be passing these balls. Puts some spin on it. Fisher steps in, gets a reasonable pass to St. Pierre. And it's Benjamin Dick who's picked up from the NAIT Ooks. It's going to be a free ball over for the Kodiaks to run their offense. Oh, that one was tight to being out. Shea Wall had to take it. Dick down the line, and he finds success there on that second chance opportunity. And a good pass from Shea Wall. Even though it was deep, you kind of say to your teammates, if you don't know if it's in or out, just take it, rather than just letting chance kind of take its effect.
Number 10, Dario Gentile.
Gentile back into the game for a serving sub for Iwanchuk. Iwanchuk missed his last serve pretty quick off his hand, so maybe Gentile's the one who can get it done, especially on the defensive side too. Gorski to Watson, and holy, Josh Watson jumps high, folks. Oh man, this is going to be a fun one to watch. Just watch how high Watson gets up in the air, hangs for a little bit, just kind of finds room through the block of St. Pierre. Not much more that Ben can do in that scenario. 17-15, Gorski, North setter of the year here. Nice pass from Dick. St. Pierre gives it back to him. High ball, just a tip. Picked up well by Gorski. Dunfield with the set. Tight ball to Watson. It's going to be a free ball for St. Pierre. You got to think that head coach Greg Gibos will call a timeout here. That's a unfortunate play. St. Pierre just felt that the flush was there, but just put it too shallow on his own side of the net. Yeah, that's a momentum killer for the Kodiaks, and that just pushes tilts the court in favor of the Ooks. Gorski roll shot, but that is the most, I guess the sought-after point after you kind of just have a bit of a blunder. You're definitely acceptable for the team kind of missing their serve and forgiving you on that play. So Kodiaks now chasing down by 2, 16 serving 18. Gorski outside to Phillips, chasing the ball, but a good touch from Marshall to slow him down. High off the hand, it's Dick, and that one lands right on the line, and it's Watson who gets another block. Josh Watson, 3 stuff blocks on the evening here. And that one popped up, so the Kodiaks weren't sure if it was in or out, but like I said on the play previously, if you aren't sure, just take it so you can avoid that play that happened right there. Another missed serve from the Ooks, giving the Kodiaks life late in this second set.
Now serving number 9, Benjamin Dick.
17 serving 19. Gorski has a nice rotation here with Anderson, Howard, and Phillips in the front row. Ben Dick serving that one long, so it doesn't matter. Ooks reaching the red zone first, red zone being 20. Up by 3 as number 8 comes in. Cole Barledge.
Coming in for the Ooks, number 8, Ben Weiss.
Oh, sorry. That is not the name I have. Ben Wise is number 8. Sorry about that. Ben Wise, first year from Sherwood Park into the game for the Ooks, putting the serve in play, putting them in pressure too. Marshall out of the right side, roll shot. Oh, and too far for Ben Wise to pick up that ball there. Serving sub for the Kodiaks, Brady Ewart back into the game. We saw him in the first set as well.
Serving now for the Kodiaks.
See if his serve is the one that can break the 2-point deficit these Kodiaks have put themselves into. Gorski has another strong front row three with Kieser, Anderson, and Phillips here. Goes to Kieser and just supreme. I'm running out of adjectives for the chemistry between Gorski and Kieser here. It's just so much fun to watch. And finally, Gorski just found the height that Kaiser's looking for, and just the ability to fully activate the high-flying middle, Ben Kieser. Phillips, another missed serve from the Ooks here. Felt like a missed serve from Gorski, Watson, and Phillips now. Kodiaks will definitely take it, chasing down by 2.
For the Kodiaks, number 14, Corny Bergen. And
double sub coming in, Corny Bergen, first year from Picture Butte, and Kindley back into the game. So this just makes it so the setter's in the back row, and we have 3 front row hitters, Bergen being the front row right side, and then St. Pierre doesn't have to block Anderson on the other side of the net. Kindley down the line, Kaiser has to take it off the net, right side to Phillips, and that one misses long. So a much-needed steal off the unforced error from the Ooks. Find the Kodiaks only down by 1, 21 serving 20, or 20 serving 21. That's going to force head coach Phil Dixon to call his first timeout of the match. Still up by 1, but Kodiaks are starting to feel comfortable in their pursuit for this second set to tie this game up at 1 apiece. We've got about 45 seconds here. Ooks and Kodiaks coming back after this.
Pursue your passion for teaching. With our new Bachelor of Education degree, you can specialize in early years, middle years, or secondary education. Complete all 4 years right here at Red Deer Polytechnic. Your rewarding career awaits.
All right, welcome back. 20 serving 21. Kodiak's chasing here. Good pass from Watson. Gorski going to his middle. Kaiser, and why not? Kaiser leading the way with 8 kills on the match. 8 for 8. 100% kill efficiency. Look at that. Kaiser just going over the top of the two-man block for the Kodiaks. Not much more you can do there. But yeah, Kaiser 8 for 8. 100% kill efficiency thus far. Off pass. Kindley has to chase it down. It's Iwanchuk who finds room through. Dunfield, high ball to Watson, trying to go deep line, but Ben Dick does a nice job adjusting his defense to get that dig. And unfortunately, Corny Bergen is not going to like that first contact. It's very difficult with that high ball coming over your opposite shoulder, and Bergen just tried to hit it a little bit too shallow and just had a bad miss there. So, man, oh man, 23-20, Ben Kaiser. I just saw this 8 for 8 kills here, 2 service aces, 2 block stuffs, 11 points here. My favorite for a player of the game thus far, understandably so. 40 seconds for this timeout break. We'll be back after this.
Subbing in for the Kodiaks, number 31, Gavin Warbeck.
Out of the timeout break here, we have number 31, Gavin Warbeck, the first-year outside hitter from Vegreville, coming in for the Kodiaks to hopefully start the charge here. Corey Bergen, that's the swing he was looking for on that first one, even though the Kodiaks were on the net. That's the offensive output that Corey Bergen can provide. Now you're going to see, looks like it was Kieser who just pressed a little too hard on that one. Kodiaks down by 2. Warbeck's first serve of the game is a spin serve here. Puts it in play. Nice job from Warbeck. Gorski pass and swing to Watson, and the high flyer just does not want to come down off the ground. Just watch how high Watson hangs here. Just has so much vertical. That is super impressive from the North Player of the Year. Josh Watson, 24-21, second set point for Kieser. Who else would you want to have on the end line here? Float serve from Kieser. As I say that, kind of puts some topspin on it and goes wide. So that's his first service error of the match. Kodiaks have some life here, 22-24. Both teams still have a timeout. Kodiaks won't have to use it here. Got to think that Phil Dixon, head coach of the NAIT Hooks, if the Kodiaks get this next point, he'll fully utilize that final timeout. Iwanschuk has had some struggles from the service line first year. Puts it in play. Watson passed off the net. Gorski goes back to him. Why not? And Josh Watson, his 8th kill of the match, is the one that closes out the second set, 25-22. NAIT Hooks clearly in the driver's seat, looking more and more likely that they're wanting to complete the three-set sweep to go on to play the host Red Deer Polytechnic Kings at 8 p.m. tomorrow night for our second semifinal here. But we got about 3 minutes to start set 3 action here between the North 2 and South 3 seeds. We'll be back for set 3 action after this.
Positive change starts here. It starts with understanding thoughts, emotions, behavior, and the brain. These things make you who you are, and they change how you work, live, and learn with others. Study psychology to understand human behavior and the factors that drive it, and you. Complete all 4 years in Red Deer and start your path to create positive and lasting change in people's lives.
Productivity is what drives us. It's our ability to look at the world and see opportunities, to innovate and design solutions, to unite people with a shared purpose, to make our communities better, healthier, stronger. At Red Deer Polytechnic, productivity is powered by people and purpose.
The 2026 ACAC Men's Volleyball Championships are brought to you by Elite Promotional Marketing, presenting sponsor of the championships. If you can dream it, we can brand it. The Holiday Inn Hotels and Resorts Red Deer. Stay smart, rest, and recharge. Big 105, home of the Big Breakfast Show with Jamie and B. 1067 Rewind Radio. Wake up to the morning rewind with Matt and Ted. RD News Now, Red Deer's credible information leader and most trusted digital news source in Central Alberta. Visit rdnewsnow.com.
right, set 3 action beginning to start here between Ooks and Kodiaks. If you're just joining us now, Ooks taking set 1 and 2, 25-16, 25-22. So improvement shown from the Kodiaks on the other side of the net, but just running out of answers for the level of play that the North Seed 2 is showing right now. Phillips with a free ball, Marshall with that read, gets a chance to pass and swing, and Phillips coming off the net, almost looked like he thought that ball was going to be wide, but pulled away his platform and just let it hit him on the way out a little bit. Yeah, it kind of looked like he second-guessed his attempt there. Marshall will take it, leading, or sorry, no, Dick is still in the lead for kills for the Kodiaks. Marshall with 6 now. Petker down the line, good pass from Watson. Howard out of the middle, and a beautiful middle setter connection from Gorski and Howard off the net. Gorski just doing such a good job keeping his vision to his middle, and I think as Howard's in the air, he's yelling at his setter like, I'm here, just so he knows where, essentially where to set the ball. Finn Howard. Good serve in play. Gets the dig, that's Watson. Now high ball for Anderson to keep it alive. Free ball over, taking out the setter, so it's gonna be Dick with the out of system set to Marshall. Off the head, but it's gonna stay in play. St. Pierre takes the first one. And this is Bergen back into the game. Touched it on the way out, yeah. Corny Bergen hit him on the chest on the way out there. You're gonna see it on the screen. Gets the tool, but just standing in the way, his right shoulder got it on the way out. But Corny Bergen staying in the game for Shea Wall. I don't even see Wall on the bench. Not sure if he's injured or there he is. He is getting some physio treatment. And now he's running back to the Lethbridge side, so I'm not sure if Shea Wall will come back into the game, but yeah, he's getting some treatment done. I'm not sure on what part of his body, but Corny Bergen staying into the game for Wall. Just a lineup piece to keep in mind as Marshall serves 2-2 into the net. Julian Phillips, 5th year from Fredericton. Spin serve in play. Fisher with a tight pass to St. Pierre, but he's able to be offensive in the front row. And St. Pierre has a good jump on him as well. Just does such a good job identifying that the ball is quick and going over the net anyway, so might as well just give it a little help. St. Pierre, his 2nd kill of the match. Bergen off the net, tight ball for Gorski, but can make it work, and it's Anderson. Fisher with a beautiful dig. Back row right side, Marshall goes off the block, and it's Kieser and Anderson who shuts him down. Anderson, float serve just off the net. Bergen doing a good job keeping it off the ground. Dick off the block and outside the reach of Gorski. Gorski doing a good job identifying that ball went straight up. Kieser didn't know, but he tried to get around him. You can see there. Tried to get around him to touch the first contact, but not enough as Kodiaks tie this game up at 4. They're going to have to push this game to a 5th set if they want to try to keep their gold semifinal hopes alive here. Kieser again, 100%, just continues on. Another kill out of the middle. Kieser tied for 8 kills with Watson. That is wild if you're a middle. Just with how the game script goes and the passing, your middles don't nearly get as much attempts as your outsides. But Kaiser's making use of every one of them thus far. St. Pierre to Petker, and finally we get Carl Petker involved in the offense. His first kill is a nice one. Going down the line, Phillips right there, but can't get his platform underneath it to continue the rally. Watson, good pass to Gorski, and it's Finn Howard. The New Zealanders in the front row, Watson and Howard. Watson with the pass to get it to Gorski to activate Howard, and Howard does such a good job not swinging too shallow. Like, he doesn't go for the bounces, he goes for those deep corners, and those are way more harder to dig just because your defense is not positioned around those deep corner shots. Gorski with a spin serve, Corny Bergen, pass off the net, St. Pierre backwards to Marshall. Sorry, that was Ben Dick. And Dick doing a great job finding the late set of hands of Finn Howard to get the tool here. This is going to be a nice replay. Dick all the way pretty much to the left side, forcing it backwards. And Ben Dick just pretty much answering the bell with the two strong New Zealander blocks on the other side of the net, getting the tool to tie this game up at 6 apiece. Dick, can one of the Nukes chase it down, and it's enough, but Phillips, is that enough to get it over? It's not going to be enough. Good hustle play from Dakota Dunfield to touch that second ball, but the third contact not enough to get over. And Nukes chase down by 1, 7 serving 6 for the Kodiaks. Anderson passed off the net. Gorski keeps his middle activated, and not enough for Malcolm Fisher, the libero on the other side of the net. But Gorski just has the will. Look at where he's standing, pretty much on the yellow line, has the ability to keep his middle activated, and that is just such a strong skill. You can tell that the coaching staff of the Red Deer Polytechnic Kings, as they're watching this game on, they're going to have a very firm underline for Gorski, has the ability to set middle wherever he is standing. Phillips with a nice dig to give the Ooks a 1-point lead here, 8-7.
Serving for the Ooks, number 7, Josh Watson.
Watson, spin serve into the net. Struggled this game from the service line. That's the only aspect. 4 service errors, no aces, so that's not the best ratio you want from your spin servers. Usually it's a 1-for-1 ace to error ratio is preferable. If you're missing your serve, you better be getting an ace with that serve. Oh, Watson picking that floater off the ground from Petker. Anderson getting a chance to swing. Phillips keeps it off the ground. Gorski with a nice back set, but it's tight. Anderson just overpowers the block and throws it off Marshall's hand. What a beautiful out-of-system play from Anderson. Just identifying that he's tight, so just swinging out of bounds, but pretty much guiding the ball off the hands and pushing it out of bounds. So just making sure that it's your opponent that touches the ball last. So Anderson, the 50-year from Edmonton, a beautiful high IQ play to keep the Ooks up 9, serving 8. Finn Howard to serve here. Down the line, tight ball for St. Pierre. Marshall with the tip. Howard lays out for it, but can't get a hand under it enough to keep it alive for his teammates. A nice hustle play from Finn Howard. Don't see the middles usually moving like that, especially in the back row, so gotta love it. Dunfield to Gorski, backwards to Watson, and just can't get on top of the ball there. Floats that one out the back. Float serve handled well by Dunfield. Gorski to Kieser again, and what do you know? Another kill from Ben Kieser out of the middle.
Serving for the Ooks, number 6.
I should just get a recording and just have Ben Kieser kill out of the middle, and then I could just play that rather than continuously saying it this game. But he has been making this volleyball fun here tonight. St. Pierre, middle to Iwanschuk, but picked up by Dunfield. Nukes keep the rally alive. Anderson has a chance to be offensive, but just pushes the ball over with a set and just misses the court wide on that one. Kodiaks remain up by 1, 11 serving 10.
Serving for the Kodiaks, number 14, Corny Bergen.
If NAIT wins this set, it will be over in 3 straight sets. Kodiaks looking to push it to 5 to go the distance here. Spin serve from Corny Bergen. Puts that one into the net. I'm trying to think what a regular roster size is for a volleyball team. Looking like Lethbridge has about 22 on their roster. 2, 4, 6, 7 non-rostered, so a large bench with a lot of red shirts there. Ooks get the steal off the Anderson point. Yeah, if you saw their picture, what I'm looking at, they look like almost like a football team. That's how many players are on their roster. Looking like the U of A Golden Bear volleyball team here. Anderson 12-11, his team up by 1, just reaching the midway point through this third set. Dick with the deep shot, can't find anybody on the way out, but oh, I was nervous there. I thought Gorski. Oh, but it is a violation for the Ooks, and point to the Kodiak, so Gorski must have been all over the net there. But yeah, I was worried how he went down. I thought he might have stepped on the foot of somebody, and that is just not how you want your provincial tournament to start. Your best setter going down with an ankle injury. Iwanchuk, nice pass from Dunfield. Kieser again, and although the Kodiaks finally touch up Kieser, just not enough to shut him down. And that was great help from Benjamin Dick on the left side, but can't get that can't get the press quick enough to force that block on the Nuke side. Kieser, my favorite for player of the game here for the Ooks here, hearing it from the Lethbridge bench. They know how strong his serve is, so they want to let him know. Good pickup from Gorski, out of system ball. Anderson, tight ball to Watson, off the outside hand of St. Pierre, but he touches it up perfectly. Dick inside, tip over the block. Anderson to Watson, roll shot in play, slowing down the pace. Dick, Marshall out of the right side, and just finding a vulnerable piece of the hands. It looked like it was Watson who he hit on the way out. This is going to be a nice angle. St. Pierre just goes straight up to Marshall. Doesn't take a huge swing on it, but just a nice one at the, yeah, it looked like Watson almost wanted to pull down his block, so it wasn't confirmed and disciplined in his press. Watson with the pass. Gorski goes to Finn Howard. Nice touch from Dick on that help side to get the dig from Dunfield. And there, Marshall showing some variation in his offensive tool belt with the tip. Kodiaks go up by 1, 14-13. St. Pierre going at Watson's hands. It's working out for the Kodiaks late here in this game. Free ball over. St. Pierre gets to run the offense backwards to Corny Bergen. Pretty much hits it at the head coach, Phil Dixon, who gets a touch but not the dig. Tie game off the miss hit from Bergen there. 14 apiece. Gorski, spin serve into the net. Kodiaks stay up by 1 here. (15 serving 14). Kodiaks starting to feel a rhythm and just some hope that they can make this happen. That must have been in Ben Dick's ear as he missed the serve, keeping this tied up at 15.
Serving for the Ooks, number 7, Josh Watson.
Spin serve coming from Watson there. And again, putting that one into the net. 5th missed serve from Watson on the evening there.
Subbing in for the Kodiaks, number 10, Dario Gentile.
Gentile back into the game. We've seen him in each of the previous 3 sets here, or 2 sets. This is the 3rd. Team up by 1, so that's the serve you want for Iwanchuk, or sorry, no, this is for the other middle, Petker. Outside to Anderson, off the block, and Marshall with the solo one-on-one block on Anderson to give the Kodiaks a very important 2-point spread here, 17 serving 15. And Marshall just doing such a good job adjusting his hands mid-air to turn his platform inside to press on Anderson. Just catch him off guard. Gentile, nice serve on Dunfield. Phillips out of the right side, getting the tool, and that's the play that the Ooks were looking for. Bergen in a perfect spot, but just can't get that press turned inside the court. Oh man, just hit off his 2 hands there, off his right, then his left, and went outside the court. Number 5 into the game, Chris Rooker, fifth year from Edmonton for this NAIT lineup. Serving sub, let's see if he's the one who can tie this one up at 17 and then some. Float serve from Rooker, just over the net. Bergen passed it. St. Pierre backwards to Marshall. Oh, dig by Gorski. Can we keep it alive? We do. Anderson, Dunfield to St. Pierre. Lethbridge has it. Marshall again, and Ooks. What a play to tie this game up at 17 apiece. Gorski with the dig, and it's going to be Kieser and Anderson combining for the block on Marshall. Anderson getting mostly all of that. 17 apiece for this third set, quarterfinal 4 of the last game of our day one. Rooker going at Bergen. Pulled off the net, pass and swing for Bergen off the hands, but a good slowdown from the NAIT blocking pair. Watson, oh my gosh, he jumped so high, I cannot get over it. Just jumping all the way out of New Zealand here from the back row, and he gets a bounce, probably harder bounce than I've had in my front row days in my prime, so that was fun to watch. Everyone from New Zealand better be out of their seats here. 18-17, Ooks over Kodiaks. Lethbridge forcing their first time out here. We're going to watch this replay one more time. Josh Watson, that is fun. 18-17, Ooks over Kodiaks. We'll be back after this.
Positive change starts here. It starts with understanding thoughts, emotions, behavior, and the brain. These things make you who you are, and they change how you work, live, and learn with others. Study psychology to understand human behavior and the factors that drive it, and you. Complete all 4 years in Red Deer and start your path to create positive and lasting change in people's lives.
Productivity is what drives us. It's our ability .
18 serving 17, Ooks North 2 over the Kodiak South 3 in our provincial quarterfinal game 4 here. Winner to go on to play Red Deer Polytechnic Kings at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Oh, and Kodiak's doing such a good job out of the timeout break, sticking with their balls, even though Ooks shut them down. Marshall down the line off the outside hand. Marshall now with 10 kills, chasing Dick with 12 on the Kodiak side. Kieser and Watson with 10 and 9 respectively for the Ooks. Marshall, yeah, hands in his hair there. Definitely rushed himself a little bit too much, putting that float serve right within the net. And Marshall has 5 service errors as well with a float serve, so that is, yeah, that's probably the reaction he's giving his coaching staff, is I don't know what's happening for the service line here. Julian Phillips spin serve, passed well by Dick, straight up to Marshall. Tip ball, dug up by Dunfield, high ball to Anderson, makes a play through the block and too high in the hand of Malcolm Fisher. Anderson with a couple of clutch plays on out-of-system balls. Only 3 kills on the match, but it feels like Anderson's 3 kills have been like the most important of this third set. Dunfield, just a great job sprawling out for that tip. Pancake 2018, but Phillips misses his serve. Bergen missed his previous serve here. Putting it off the net. Kieser doing a good job. That is his ball, but just outside of the reach, so a very important ace for Corny Bergen, the first year from Picture Butte, to tie this game up at 20 apiece. That's going to force the hand of Phil Dixon to call his first timeout of the set. Tied up at 20, but just needs a minute to discuss this offensive look that the Ooks are trying to get out of the rotation with. So 45 seconds, we're back 20-20 in quarterfinal 4 and set 3 here between Ooks and Kodiaks.
The 2026 ACAC Men's Volleyball Championships are brought to you by the Government of Alberta, Konica Minolta, Sport Check, Veriburn Medical Supply, and Volleyball Alberta.
Out of the timeout break here. Cornybergen, the first year from Picture Butte to serve, just got an ace to force the timeout. Dunfield with a perfect pass. Gorski to Kieser. And Kieser finding room through the block. .21 serving 20. Anderson. Race to 5 here. No cap, win by 2. Dunfield to St. Pierre, outside to Benjamin Dick. And wow, what a beautiful shot. Not doing too much, but just right at the end, just kind of completes the top spin and just shows that change up here. You're going to see it right away. Just doesn't do too much and just finds space in front of the defenders. A nice change up play from Benjamin Dick for his 13th kill of the evening. So a few subs coming in for the Kodiaks. Brady Ewart in for Iwanschuk to serve in the back row. And then we have Kindley and Shea Wall coming into the game. Kindley setting Shea Wall as an outside hitter. So some new movement here. Let's see if the new faces can get it done here to close out this set. Kieser, the first time he's been touched up. Oh, Kindley, what a play there. But Dunfield read it. Watson, nice recycle. Gorski's going to give it back to him straight up. Watson has a chance going high off the hands. Beautiful touch from Kindley to slow it down for his teammates to get the dig. Benjamin Dick off the block again. Finding room through. 14 kills on the match. Just willing his team through this one. They are down the first 2 sets, so they got to push this to 5 if they want to try to aim for a podium here. You are down the line. Oh, thought that was a late call, and Watson just caught it, but it hit the antenna right away, tying this game up at 22 apiece. Ben Kieser here. Float serve in play. Dunfield gives it to Kindley. Outside to Dick again, off the head of Howard that time. And Benjamin Dick with 3 consecutive kills. All tools out of the left side, it feels, off Finn Howard there to bring the Kodiaks up by 1, 23-22. Float serve from St. Pierre. Finn Howard, nice pass to Gorski, get a chance to swing on it. Dug up, but Gorski takes it with one hand. Oh, tight ball for Watson. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make a play, and he doesn't. And Julian Phillips pretty much gives the ball to the Kodiaks, and we find Kodiaks 24-22 set point. And understandably so, Phil Dixon going to call his final timeout of the set to talk about his troops to hold off this last point for the Kodiaks to push a 4 set. We'll be back after this.
Pursue your passion for teaching. With our new Bachelor of Education degree, you can specialize in early years, middle years, or secondary education. Complete all 4 years right here at Red Deer Polytechnic. Your rewarding career awaits.
St. Pierre, the 5th-year Red Deer boy, to potentially close out this 3rd set for the Kodiaks to go 1-2 in this best of 5. Howard out of the middle. Good touch from Petker to keep this one alive. And it's Dick who closes it out. 4 consecutive kills out of the left side for Kodiaks to go up and take set 3, 25-22. Ooks are up 2 sets to 1, but Kodiak's only 1 set away from pushing this to a 5th setter to go the distance here. We're going to switch sides, take a break, and reconvene as Kodiaks and Ooks coming back for set number 4 for quarterfinal action here after this.
Positive change starts here. It starts with understanding thoughts, emotions, behavior, and the brain. These things make you who you are, and they change how you work, live, and learn with others. Study psychology to understand human behavior and the factors that drive it, and you. Complete all 4 years in Red Deer and start your path to create positive and lasting change in people's lives.
Productivity is what drives us. It's our ability to look at the world and see opportunities, to innovate and design solutions, to unite people with a shared purpose, to make our communities better, healthier, stronger. At Red Deer Polytechnic, productivity is powered by people and purpose.
All right, and welcome back to 4-set action here between North 2, NAIT Ooks, and South 3, Lethbridge Kodiaks here. Watson starting off with another missed serve, his 6th of the evening. We were just kind of talking about it up here. It seems like the NAIT Ooks are starting to lose steam in this game as they're, Kodiaks are just starting to get comfortable. They're starting to get excited after each point, and NAIT Ooks are just, every time they get the ball back, they get a couple of points, but then miss their serve, and just all the momentum kind of dies off that. Anderson deep shot, St. Pierre with a nice dig, Corny Bergen straight up to Benjamin Dick with a phenomenal finish of that 3rd set. 16 kills on the evening, pretty much 5 of them occurring within the last 5 points to pretty much win the set for the Kodiaks. That was Benjamin Dick there. But Ooks tie the game at 1. Howard, the other New Zealander, other than Watson, to serve here. Going deep at Dick's hands. Nice pass to St. Pierre, and Iwanchuk finds room through the block. Tristan Iwanchuk, his second kill. Kodiaks need to try to get their middles, or continuously keep their middles involved in this offense. Petker only has 1 kill. Iwanchuk has 2, compared to Kieser and Howard with 11 and 5 on the other side. So Kodiak's doing a good job, even though the game script might not be their way, keeping themselves in this game. So at this point, a win's a win, which is a win. Julian Phillips, spin serve up, putting that one at Dunfield. Nice pass to St. Pierre. Sorry, that was Fisher. I'm getting the liberos mixed up on both sides, but then it's Mason Gorski with the nice one-on-one shutdown block on Corny Bergen on the other side of the net. 3-2 Ooks up over Kodiaks. Ooks win this set. We are done. Kodiaks looking to push this to a 5th setter to 15. Anderson with the phenomenal block. Him and Kieser combining for the block on Marshall, which was hard to do the last set. St. Pierre was liking Marshall as his kind of bailout option, especially kind of when he's in the front row. Especially when the pass isn't there, you just jack it backwards to that back row C-ball. But that helps with a miss serve from Phillips. That's kind of what we were talking about, is just they get the momentum, then miss their serve and give the ball back to the other team and just give all the life to the Kodiaks there. Corny Bergen, first year from Picture Butte. Spin serve in play. There's Dunfield with a pass. Watson, that one's a little too low, so just has to snake tip it over. Dick, cross-court shot, and another kill from Ben Dick out of the left side. 17 on the evening. Tie game up at 4. Spin serve from Borgen, puts it right off the chest of Watson, but Anderson doing a nice job of digging that ball, and it's Julian Phillips completing the rally. But Ooks with another nice dig to kill conversion from the combination of Anderson, Gorski, and Phillips to close it out. Float serve from Anderson. Bergen with a nice pass to St. Pierre. Dick again gets another tool, and he is just unstoppable right now. .55, Kodiaks stay tied, and it's pretty much Benjamin Dick just filling up the kill stat board here. Deep serve from Iwanchuk, nice pass from Anderson. Watson down the line, what a dig from Marshall to keep it alive. Gorski goes to Kieser, gets blocked, that never happens. Watson, roll shot, good cover by Kieser. Gets a chance again, but it's tight. Oh, and just too much. It's Petker flushing the ball down on the Nuke side of the net. 6-5, Kodiaks go up here. Petker and St. Pierre combining for that block conversion on Watson. Float serve from Iwanchuk. Nice pass from Anderson to Gorski. Kieser again. Iwanchuk gets the hand, and Kodiaks keep the ball off the floor. Oops, get another chance to close it out. It's Kieser again, back-to-back conversions. Keeping this game tied at 6. Kieser's 12th kill of the match. Gets a nice pass and swing off the net, but Gorski is going to keep him activated. You can believe that. Kieser with the very aggressive float serve. Bergen doing a nice job battling that one. Outside to Ben Dick, and what do you know, another kill out of the left side from Ben Dick. Inching to 20 here, that was his 19th. Not doing too much, just finding a vulnerable piece of the block and just hitting right through it. And just, you gotta be good to be lucky as well, and Ben Dick has been good. Anderson off pass. Gorski has to go straight up to Finn Howard, and just such a beautiful offense from Mason Gorski. And Finn Howard doing such a good job identifying that Gorski's push forward, so the run has to be behind him to keep that offense spread. And Gorski just knows exactly where Finn Howard likes it. And the Ooks keep this game tied up at 7 on a very nice 60 run from Finn Howard. Gorski down the line at Bergen. It seems that's a serving strategy to go at Corny Bergen's hands. Oh, and finally the Kodiaks get a dig on Ben Dick. Watson off the hands. That's a nice touch, but St. Pierre has Marshall and Dick on the outside. Goes to Dick. Just misses high and wide. Dick finally showing that he's human with a hitting error. Feels like that is his first hitting error in the last 20 attempts. He has been untouchable there. Float serve from Gorski. Nice pass from Bergen there, answering the bell. Petker gets touched up by Howard, slows it down for his teammates to convert. Watson can't really do too much, just has to put it over the net. Marshall down the line, just trying to avoid the block too much and hitting that one wide. Ooks up 9-7. You'll see here that Marshall does a good job getting outside, but he just identifies that it's a big block and just tries to miss it completely. Or maybe he tried to hit a hand on the way out and just didn't execute, but yeah, that's an unforced error from Marshall. Petker out of the middle, and St. Pierre doing a nice job spreading the ball around, getting his full offense activated. It's Petker now with the kill, and that's kind of what we talked about. Only 4 kills combined for the middles of the Kodiaks when it's 18 combined for the Ooks. So you got to get your middles involved to kind of complement the rest of your offense. Gorski to Watson out of the right side, gets touched up, but Gorski with a nice little pancake to keep it alive. Phillips off the block, another recycle for the Ooks. Howard out of the middle, and that is in. Gorski just running an offensive clinic. Watson on the right side, Phillips on the left side. Let's give Howard a ball to close it out of the middle here. Just such a beautiful offense from the 5th-year Mason Gorski. 10-8, Ooks stay up 2 as they're looking to close out this set and game in 4 to go on to the semifinal against Red Deer tomorrow at 8 o'clock. St. Pierre, high ball to Corny Bergen, off the hands, and a beautiful swing from the first. You got a picture viewed. Corny Bergen to get the tool off of either Howard or Gorski there. Carl Petker. Float serve and play. Watson off the net. Phillips straight up from Gorski. Finds a set of hands, but St. Pierre keeps it off the floor. Marshall out of the right side. Good touch up from the Ooks to keep that defense alive. Anderson with just the free ball over, taking St. Pierre out of the offense. Dick tight ball to Bergie. Corny Bergeson, as I was wanting to say, but Phillips doing a good job just pressing on that tight ball. Just flushing it over on the other side of the net. Not much more you can do in the defensive coverage there. Finn Howard, one of 2 Christchurch New Zealanders. He's had an exceptional game thus far. Nice serve, Corny Bergen. Great pass, Marshall out of the right side. Howard read that all the way. Good anticipation from the middle. Watson out of the right side C-ball, dug up by St. Pierre. Marshall out of the right side, and that's the ball to do it. Bringing us back within 1 point, 10 serving 11. Marshall has 11 kills on the match. Marshall has been struggling from the service line. 6 missed serves, so he's going to be taken out for number 31, Gavin Warbeck, to hopefully put a tough one in play as the Kodiaks chase down by 1. Spin serve from Warbeck. In play. Nice pass from the Ooks. Watson out of the back row, and holy, just the high flyer from New Zealander. Josh Watson comes out of nowhere, and just how do you play defense against that? Like, Kieser's coming out of the middle, you got to respect that. You have Anderson and Phillips on the right sides, you got to respect that, and then Watson just coming up the middle with a no block. It just makes it very difficult for the blocking 3 to get any kind of feel here. Anderson making use of that overbump from a nice serve from Julian Phillips. 13-10, and I think we're going to see head coach Greg Gibos. Oh, he's walking towards the down official to call that timeout, but refrains. So wants his boys to earn it. 13-10, Phillips with the spin serve here. And great patience from head coach Greg Gibos to wait that one out. Not waste a very important timeout, chasing only down by 2. 11 serving 13. And Bergen putting that one into the net. 14-11. Ooks keep that 3-point spread there as Shea Wall comes back into the game for Bergen. I wonder where the Ooks are going to serve now. Float serve from Anderson, going at Wall, the newbie in, answers the bell perfectly. Ben Dick off the outside hand. Watson puts it over on one, but can't control that within the parameters of the court. Kodiak's with another kill from Ben Dick, his 20th of the match now. We're going to see Gentile back into the game for the Kodiaks. Serving sub to take out on Wanchuk. Kieser out of the middle, and what do you know? Kieser puts that one into the net. His first error on the attack front. Not sure if this ball was low or maybe Kieser was just trying to go a little too shallow, but just ran out of angle there. Kodiaks will take it, chasing down by 1. Gentile to serve. Dunfield, nice pass. Gorski to Kieser, gets touched up by Shea Wall. And Kodiak's bringing back a free ball. Dunfield to Gorski. Kieser out of the middle, and a nice kill from Ben Kieser to keep the Ooks up by 2, 15 serving 13. Gorski just loves Kieser in this rotation. Kieser just does such a good job hitting between the blocks. It's like you can see it as he's hitting it. I can't believe it. But Kieser, another kill, 13 on the match. Oh, just blowing that serve long. Float serve from St. Pierre. Dunfield tight pass to Gorski, but flushes on one and a nice little stare down for Ben Dick. And we're going to hear about it a little bit. I didn't think Gorski was too bad, but he definitely kind of celebrated a little bit toward Ben Dick's presence there. But yeah, one hand versus two hand, as long as you're going up second. Oh, and Greg Gibo's giving some gears here. He is frustrated with the kind of chirping that you're hearing from Nate's side. And we're going to get a yellow card. That's just a warning to the Kodiaks. But yeah, there was something that the Nate Ooks bench players were saying that head coach Greg Gibos did not like. And it has frustrated him. So Captain Malcolm Fisher just having a conversation with the head official to explain what's going on. This is a nice little timeout. Oh yeah, you can see Gibos just saying that they're flexing and stuff on the bench. So yeah, Gibos just a little frustrated with how excited Nate is getting here, but understandably so with that one-handed flush from Gorski. Ben Dick off the hands, 21 kills on the match. Keeping this within a 1-point game here, 15 serving 16. And Lethbridge, yeah, giving it back. Some John for the Nate Ooks bench to consider, but that's all part of the game, right? You want to get excited, you want to support your teammates, so you got to do it in a respectable manner. Sometimes you get a little too excited here. Ben Dick having an exceptional night. Putting that one in play. Watson off the net. Going to be Phillips out of the left side with a high ball. And just as Phillips swung through the ball, he was all over the net. You're going to see it on this replay. Just as Phillips is a little tight, but his follow through just kind of as his hand finishes, it touches it right at the end there. Great replay, Zach. 16-16, all tied up here. If Kodiaks win this game, we are going to a 5th set. Would be very fitting for the matches we've had thus far today. 17-16, Oops go up off the missed serve from Dick. Josh Watson, North Player of the Year, has been struggling from the service line, and it just continues. Watson with 7 missed serves. Just the struggle from the service line continues. Kieser with 3, Watson with 7, Phillips with 6, Gorski with 5 missed serves. So 18 free points for the Kodiaks off just straight missed serves from the Ooks here. So we see Ewert back into the game for the Kodiaks. Phillips out of the right side trying to go deep and just missing long. 18-17, Kodiaks go up. 2 timeouts still both sides, so you got to understand that Giebos and Dixon won't let this get too out of hand here before they call one. Ewert putting it in play. Watson to Gorski. Finn Howard, beautiful swing out of the middle, and I just love how hype he's getting right now. He's going to be taken out for Ben Weiss as a serving sub and defensive option here. Tied up at 18 apiece as we're nearing the red zone. Winners go on to play Red Deer at 8 p.m. tomorrow in the semifinal. Losers will play Augustana. Roll shot from Marshall. Gorski gets a run, and it's Kieser, but Iwanschuk finally solves the puzzle that has been Kieser this whole game. Gets an absolutely clutch block to go up by 1, 19-18. The first year shutting down the fourth year. You love to see it. That's Iwanschuk's first block of the game. Couldn't come at a better time. Marshall putting the serve in play, catching Kieser, getting the pass and swing tip, dug up by St. Pierre. Corny Bergen. Nice dig from Dunfield, tight ball for Anderson, and gets tooled by St. Pierre. 2018 Kodiaks go up. You got to think that head coach Phil Dixon might use this first timeout. Yeah, just a tight ball from Gorski. St. Pierre doing a good job flushing it over. And Dixon's going to let this one ride. His team down by 2. Kodiaks in the red zone. Dunfield to Gorski. Kieser. Oh, Marshall, what a touch. Can we chase it down? And no, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to chase it down. Ooks with a nice kill from Kieser out of the middle. His 14th. 19 serving 20. Ooks and Kodiaks here. Spin serve coming from Phillips. Nice pass from Dick. St. Pierre goes straight up to Ben Dick out of the back row. And what an offense from Dick and St. Pierre. The pass and swing to maintain a 2-point lead here. Watch this rotation. Dick just doing such a good job keeping available, swinging away from the block. And just the Ooks have no answers for Ben Dick right here tonight. And Dick gets back into the front row. That's even scarier for the opposing team. Bergen has to put this in play. He does down the line. Watson, nice pass. Gorski outside to the newcomer, number 9 here. I missed this play. Caden Bennett gets another chance. Back-to-back swings and closes it out. Off the bench for Anderson, it's Caden Bennett, the 5th year from GP. 2 swings, cold off the bench. That is very hard to do, but finds success off the platform of Fisher. That doesn't happen too often. And as Caden Bennett quickly comes into the game, he is shuffled out again for Anderson in the back row. 20 serving 21, huge point here. Bergen passed off the net. St. Pierre just goes straight up to Marshall. Roll shot over the net. Deep, tight ball. Iwanschuk has a chance to swing. Carry. Oh, I thought that would have been a carry for sure. Watson was a little slow with that first contact. Marshall to St. Pierre. Iwanschuk out of the middle. What a dig by Dunfield to keep this alive. Watson roll shot. Bergen to St. Pierre. Outside to Dick with the tip, and it finds an open piece of the court. Just in the middle of everybody. Ben Dick just rolling tonight. 23 kills. Oh boy, we are getting down to the wire here. Petker back into the game. We're going to see Kindley as well, the setter, probably to take out St. Pierre in the front row. Oh no, oh yeah, St. Pierre in the front row, so just a bigger blocking option for Watson to consider. I love that sub from Gibos there. 22-20. Iwanchuk the first year. Float serve in play. Pass off the net. Gorski straight up to Kieser. Good dig from Corny Bergen. Right side right side Marshall. Touched up by the Ooks. Kieser again. Another block from Petker. Free ball over. Oh my gosh. Kodiak's get a chance to convert. Kindley outside to Dick. Again, high off the hands. What a touch from Gorski to slow it down. Watson, and that's the one that closes it out. 21-22. Watson with his 12th kill of the match. And that's a nice one, just going inside the two-person block strong. And not enough for Iwanchuk to step in there and dig it up. Another absolutely massive point. Oh, wow. Kieser's getting taken out on the service line. That's not something I would probably recommend, but Rooker did a good job in his first tour as a serving sub, so I just think Kieser has one of the hardest float serves in this tournament. 21 serving 22. Kodiak's over Ooks right now. Rooker to serve. Down the line, Fisher, tight pass, and it's Watson with the overbump. And as I say that, Kieser should stay in the game. Phil Dixon, head coach, is over there for a reason. Rooker getting the ace and the overbump for Watson to tie this game up at 22. .22 apiece here, Rooker. Down the line again, Bergen, nice pass to St. Pierre. Tight ball for Dick, and he finds room. Unfortunately, Gorski pulled his hands down to the last second. You're going to see it on your screen here. Either Gorski or Howard pulled their hands down. Yeah, Gorski right at the last second thought Dick might have been trying to just go high at his hands. But Dick, again, 23 kills, 23-22, Kodiak's over Ooks. Anderson, Gorski, perfect pass. Watson out of the left side and just finds room through Marshall and Petker there. We stay tied at 23 apiece. Win by 2, no caps, so this could go long. And Greg Gibo is going to call his first timeout, tied at 23, but Gorski has a very strong spin serve. I think head coach Greg Gibos just wants Gorski to think about it for a little bit extra longer. Exactly 48 seconds longer. We're going to break with him. We'll be back after this. We're back 23-23, set 4 with Gorski. Oh, he's float serving now. I like that out of the timeout break. Ben Dick with a nice pass, gets it back from St. Pierre, off the hands. Bergen, high ball for Marshall, has a chance to swing, goes through the block, and just a two-handed set finds its way through. And you got to think Phil Dixon will call a timeout here. You got to call a timeout. Yeah, there it is. Down 24-23 with Dick, the spin server, to serve at you. You want Dick thinking about this for as long as he can. 55 seconds. I need a break as well. 24-23. Kodiak's looking to push this to a 5. All right, so set point for the Kodiaks, 24-23 to push it to a 5th set. Ooks trying to tie this game up at 24 to go to extra points here. Oh, and what a beautiful timeout called from Phil Dixon. That is going to be a huge coaching point on the stat board for Phil. 24-24, another timeout for Greg Gibos, his final timeout. It's kind of interesting as he does it when the game is tied, I guess. Usually you do it when you're down. It's not a science, more of an art, but yeah, it's interesting calling that timeout at 24 apiece just to talk about what the pass is coming back, but just to waste that timeout, or not waste it, but just to kind of use it very quickly. We'll see how it works out for them. We got about 35 seconds, 24-24 into this timeout. We're gonna stay with you guys. Ben Dick with 23 kills, Marshall right behind, or not right behind him, but next one behind him with 13, and then a bunch of 2s sprinkled in. So it's been Dick and Marshall on the offensive ride here tonight. Kieser, Watson with 14, Phillips and Howard with 8, Anderson with 3, Gorski with 2. But yeah, if we look at this missed serve stat here, there is a lot of missed serves on both sides, but just too many for the NAIT Ooks. That has pretty much been the reason that they've allowed the Kodiaks to get this momentum and climb their way back into it. They would get a few points, get back on their serve, and then miss, and then the next one would come through and they'd miss as well, and then it would just kind of string together that momentum. But we knew this was going to be a good match. Number 10 coming into the game, Aiden Wright, Fort McMurray 4th year. 24-24. Biggest serve of the game. Right in play, Bergen, pass to St. Pierre. Petker out of the middle, what a dig from Dunfield to keep it alive. Fisher to St. Pierre, backwards to Marshall. Gorski with the dig, but it's not going to be enough. Cameron Marshall gets his 14th kill of the match, and it's to put the Kodiaks within another set point here for set number 4. 25-24. Petker with the serve. Float serve down the line. Nice pass from Watson to Gorski. Backwards to Julian Phillips, who's touched up and dug by St. Pierre, but Ben Dick can't get past him. He does. It's going to be a free ball over. Gorski loves this spot. Finn Howard coming out of nowhere. Oh, and just the paintbrush lands in the open spot. That's as lucky as you can get it here. Finn trying to take a big swing just underneath it, but yeah, how that ball landed was just perfectly outside the reach of St. Pierre, and we are tied back up at 25 a pop here. Kieser back into the front row, so that's something you got to be mindful of if you're the blocking 3 on the Kodiak side. Got to key up on him at all times. Finn Howard taking his time, 25 a pop here. Bergen, pass low, gets a chance to swing. Deep shot, Watson. Gorski to Anderson. High off the hands, beautiful touch from the Kodiaks blocking pair. Iwanschuk dug up by Gorski. Out of system play for Anderson to free ball it over. Oh, and Anderson gets called for the 2 hits on that 3rd contact. Just kind of came messy out of his hands with a little bit of spin. And the head official thought that was enough to call the violation there. Oh man, Kodiak's another set point, 26-25. Ooks are just trying all they can to hold them off. Oh, and Marshall, the standing float serve. I'm not sure what he's thinking about when he's putting the ball off the serve, but there is no purpose to that. And that was a rough miss. 26-26. Ooks, if you're not careful, they will capitalize on this, and Kodiaks don't have any timeouts left. Fisher to Iwanschuk, and what a kill from the middle from the first year. Tristan Iwanschuk behind St. Pierre and just has the presence of mind to go to him. Kieser gets the block up, but not enough. And number 14, Corny Bergen, the picture butte first year with the spin serve. A lot of pressure. Gets the ace, and 28-26. 4-set win for the Kodiaks to push us into a 5th setter. Wouldn't have it any other way here on our 4th and final game of the ACAC men's provincials here. 25-16, 25-22 for set 2 and 3. Or sorry, 25-16 NAIT, 25-22 NAIT. Then set 3 and set 4, 25-22 Kodiaks, 28-26 Kodiaks. So we are going into a fifth here. Balls of fury right now. 2.5 minutes here. We got captains going over for coin toss. We'll be back after this. All right, and we are gearing up for fifth set action here between North 2 and South 3, NAIT Ooks and Lethbridge Polytechnic Kodiaks here. Kodiaks coming out with a grind of a 4-set victory, 28-26, so maybe that's the momentum they need to create the second bracket buster of the event here. Off pass from Bergen, Fisher with the tight ball. Bergen finds room through the block of the NAIT Ooks. Oh, and Anderson again gets called for a 2-hit contact. One nothing. Kodiaks take the first point off the 2-hit call from Anderson there. Petker with the float serve. Catching Watson high. Gorsey goes back to him and blocked. Cameron Marshall and Tristan Iwanschuk combined for a block on the North Player of the Year, Josh Watson. 2-0 Kodiaks up, but every point is important here. Winner of this game will go on to play the Kings in the semifinal at 8 p.m. tomorrow. Loser will play Augustana for the 5th place seed. And Iwanschuk again shutting down Kieser, which doesn't happen too often. No options for the Ooks right now, as probably one of their stronger rotations with Kieser and Watson in the front row is getting shut down by the Kodiaks right now. Carl Petker. Float serve in play, off the net. It's Dunfield going high to Watson, putting him in a good spot, but just misses him on the way out. Watson praying for a touch, not going to get it, and that's going to force Phil Dixon's hand on a first timeout. 4-0 here, but we got lots of game. Nate's definitely not going to go away from it. Lethbridge has to focus on that too. We got 4-0 Kodiaks over Ooks, but lots of game to go in this best of 15 here. Out of the timeout here, Carl Petker, his team up 4-0 over the North 2 Nate Ooks right now. And a miss serve out of the timeout. Phil Dixon, another timeout point for the head coach there. Ooks get their first point of the set off the miss serve from Petker. Gorski has been spin serving, but now he's switched to a float serve here. Probably identified that the serving struggles from the Ooks need to be limited here. Ben Dick with the unforced error out of the pipe back row to bring the Ooks back within 2. Oh man, Gorski just trying to pepper the hands of Corny Bergen down the line, but just misses it off the tape there. Kodiaks will take it. They win that first battle to 5-2. Now they need to reset and focus on getting to 10. Ooks just need to focus on getting this ball back and putting the serve in play and hoping that, and just trusting that their ability will take them further in this game. Warbeck with the spin serve off the tape, taking Gorski out of the rotation. It's Dunfield to Phillips. Nice dig from Fisher. St. Pierre chases it down to Bergen out of the left side and just tries to go too hard of an angle and puts that one into the net. Watson has put away the spin serve too, float serving it in play. Bergen with a perfect pass and swing, hammers it cross court. And the first year from Picture Butte, Corny Bergen putting the ball into the stands off the shank of Dunfield there. 6-3 Kodiaks go up. Remember, we switch sides at 8. But Bergen has had an unbelievable match coming off the bench here for the Kodiaks. Oh, just over the net and gets the ace. And that was the point that got the 28th point in set 4 victory, was an ace from Corny Bergen here. 7-3. Kodiaks clearly in the driver's seat, but this game is not done. I cannot stress that enough. Ooks will not go away. Bergen with the spin serve. Oh, putting some pace on it. Corny Bergen the first year, looking like a 5th year right now with that confidence and athleticism and skill. 8-3. You can just see everybody on the Kodiaks just saying, calm down, continue to roll. And Nate Ooks just trying to stay internalized as well, but you got to think in the back of their head, they're saying, what if we lose this? What if we blow this? Because this roster, I cannot stress this enough, this NAIT roster is filled with 5th years. And so their curtain call is this year. You can't play longer than 5 years of athletic eligibility in this league. So it is unacceptable to not get it. I remember in my 5th year not to get to at least that final and try to get a couple of gold medals here. So this would be quite the upset if Kodiaks can clinch this. Bergen takes some off. Nice pass from Dunfield to Gorski, and it's Kieser out of the middle. Finally, the Ooks find 3 solid contacts to get them a side out. Kodiaks just have to stay even keel here and go point for point. Kieser on the serve. You gotta think that Kodiaks are happy that he's in the back row now. 4 serving 8, Ooks are down. Good pass from Dunfield to St. Pierre. Marshall out of the back row. Watson with a tight dig for Gorski, has to chase it down. Watson with a double jump. What a dig from Malcolm Fisher. Wow, are you kidding me? And Ben Dick closes it out. What do you know, 24 kills, and Malcolm Fisher with one of the nicest digs of the tournament for the Kodiaks to stay alive and go a point away from getting 10 here. This is Galito again. Float serving play, Watson past Howard out of the middle, and he gets the kill. NAIT Ooks offense is just flowing through their middles while the Kodiaks are flowing through their outsides. Sorry, that was Dario Gentile with the serve there. Jay Spinney into the game, another 5th year for this Ooks roster. And number 9, Caden Bennett. So we have a double sub taking out Gorski and Phillips. This is interesting. I would keep Gorski in the game no matter what. But let's see how we go. Spinney. Float serve at Wall's hands, outside to Dick. Tip through the block and outside the reach of Dunfield to keep that second contact high enough. And the Kodiaks 10-15. Just won that second mini battle. Now they just have 1 mini battle to 5 to get to 15. Up a reasonable amount of points. They just have to execute. St. Pierre wants to rush this serve. Oh man, I love that. Watson to Spinney. And Howard, that one's long. And another unforced error from the Ooks, making this look even more likely that Kodiaks are going to close out this bracket bluster. Phil Dixon calling his second and final timeout of the set. Kodiaks up 11-5, 6 points over the North Seed 2. This would be a bracket buster if there ever was one. Kodiaks are good enough, but yes, you look at the roster on the other side, full of 5th years. They have a national championship, this group, from either 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I think it's 2. I don't want to do them any injustice. But then this group will be playing again at the national tournament. So I did forget about that. So they do have volleyball after this, but it would not be the best look going into a national tournament finishing 5th in your province. So that's just all the pressure that Ooks have going towards them now. Kodiak's playing free, playing without fear of error, if you will. We're not going to go to a timeout break as these two teams are coming back on the court here. 11 serving 5, Kodiaks over Ooks. We've only seen one other bracket buster today. That was the GP Wolves over Briarcrest Clippers, the North 3 beating the South 2. So this would be the reverse of that. St. Pierre down the line off the net. Dunfield passes up to Spinney. Anderson, good dig from St. Pierre to keep it alive, and it's Fisher. Marshall, right side roll shot, easy dig from Anderson. Spinney goes straight up inside to, oh, who's in the game now? Sorry, this is Caden Bennett. Ooks, another chance. Watson off the net. Marshall reaches out for it, but can't keep it alive for Malcolm Fisher to keep it alive. Kodiaks breathe a sigh of relief. 6 serving 11 with Dalen Anderson to serve here. They've been loving going down the line at Shea Wall's hands. I'm sure that's where they'll go now, but we've got Ben Dick and Marshall on the outside. You got to think St. Pierre will utilize one of them here. Oh, and he goes to Pecker. Oh, I thought that tagged the line, but just missed wide. And when will Greg Gibo call his first time out of the set? 7 serving 11. Not a lot of volumes, has been going towards the middle, so you gotta think that the middle for the Ooks will just close to the outside right away. Oh, Marshall coming inside. What a beautiful run from the combination of Marshall and St. Pierre there. You're gonna get a good look at this one. Marshall showing that inside left side ball right away, finding room, and Kodiak stay up by 5 here, 12 serving 7 with Ben Dick, 25 kills on the night to serve here. Oh, I'm missing that one long. Ooks will take it here. They're on a steal run. 8 serving 12. Finn Howard to serve here. Watson back into the front row. Kieser back into the front row. Good looks for the Ooks, but no Gorski here. I'm surprised by that. Very surprised by that. Howard with the float serve, taking his time, going deep and missing long. Crucial miss serve from the Ooks, as Kodiaks are 2 points away from closing out this quarterfinal. Winner of this will go on to play Red Deer tomorrow night at 8 p.m. for our second semifinal. It's going to be GP and Keanu, our first semifinal at 6 p.m. Ewart into the game, float serve at Watson. Spinney goes back to him, gets the tip and hits it out of bounds. Oh man, if there ever was a point you needed there, that was it. 14-8 Kodiak set and match point to complete the three-set comeback and the upset over the North Sea 2 NAIT Ooks national host. Watson to Spinney. Kieser out of the middle. St. Pierre with a pickup, so it's Marshall gets a chance to close this out. And he does with the tool. Look at this celebration, folks. Gotta love it here. NAIT Ooks winning set 1 and 2, 25-16, 25-22. Lethbridge not going away, taking set 3, 25-22. Set 4, 28-26. And then just working the fifth set, 15-8. So what a complete game from the Lethbridge College Kodiaks. NAIT Ooks very defeated. They will still be competing and representing Alberta at the national tournament, probably as one of the lower seeds now, if not that 7th or 8th seed, now that they kind of finished. The best they can finish is 5th in their province. So stick around for the players of the game. I'm going to go downstairs to interview either the POG for Lethbridge or head coach Greg Gibos there. I'd love to hear Greg's thought process and just kind of hear how fast his heart is going from that game. So semifinals are set. Our first day is done. Tomorrow, our 2 gold semifinals will be Northwestern Polytechnic against Keanu Huskies, North 3 versus North 1, and then Red Deer Polytechnic Kings against the Lethbridge Polytechnic Kodiaks, the Battle of the Polytechnics, South 3 and South 1. So stick around for play of the game. Thank you for joining us on day 1 here of the ACAC Tournament 2025-2026. We start at 1 p.m. tomorrow to play those consolation sides 1, 3, 6, and 8 as well. So join in for ACAC TV on that. On behalf of the Red Deer Polytechnics on day 1, thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.